I'm not too familiar with her, not at
Okay.
all.
Okay. So what lawyers are you familiar with?
As far as people within what's going on with this whole Diddy thing, or you're
Yes,
just saying?
yes, yes. Yeah. Who would you consider would be bad actor lawyers?
Oh man, I have to take a better look into who's all involved. I definitely I'm looking at that Spiro guy, but that's a whole thing with uh, Jay-Z, and I believe he is representing the Shakur estate with that murder situation. Who I believe Jay-Z brought him on to that case, and that's suspicious right there because it's almost like a conflict of interest to a degree.
Right.
All right. Cool. Well, okay. Well, should we start?
I mean, if you want to start with me, she's finishing up in the
Okay, excellent,
bathroom.
excellent.
It's up to you. However you want to do it. However you
So
guys want
look,
to do it.
so I have how we doing? How we doing with this, Ed? Are we doing all right, Ed, for the moment?
Everything is great. Yeah, audio is good, video is good.
Okay.
Do I need to
So
remove her?
my question is: have you heard of the National Crime Syndicate?
No.
Okay. And
What's
has okay, it is an organization. It is an organization from the 40s that has started in Chicago and worked its way globally,
Okay.
particularly in Hollywood, which this syndicate is the modern day version of the same Cosa Nostra with sworn omertas to sacrifice your own children should you go against, the syndicate.
Yeah.
And this syndicate was started by a guy called Meyer Lansky. You may have heard of that name, all right?
I've heard of him.
So Meyer Lansky was brought to Hollywood by a guy called Sumner Redstone.
Heard of him.
Okay, so Sumner Redstone started a company called National Amusements with Lansky's money. And then they basically became Viacom. They started MTV. They became a colossus in media. They own CBS television, CBS News, and so on. Currently, his daughter Shari Redstone, is also of the same mold as him. Runs the operation. I accused them years ago of distributing child pornography through LimeWire on a colossal scale. Right. And then you've got a guy called Brian Roberts who runs Comcast Ventures, which again is another part of this monopoly. It's a monopoly, right? Including Rupert Murdoch and a couple of and all the clowns at Disney, right? And the Mickey Mouses and the Goofies.
Yeah.
Right. And so we have these people that offer a monopoly that are run by a gang who have been bought out by a gang called the National Crime Syndicate. And this is this is the way to get these people because we can link a number of people to this group.
Oh, hold on. No, it's fine. The lighting is fine here. All right. We're good. Sorry, go ahead.
You can also adjust the background because you're on a white background. You might want to choose a cool background. I don't know.
Yeah, I can do that.
You might want to choose something to promote Jaguar stuff. You might want to do some of her, her promo material or something on the background. You know what I'm saying?
I just have.
Yeah, there you go.
We already did that.
Whoa.
We already did that. Let me find something else.
Yeah.
What's that?
The Sheen Awards. I have that in the background.
That's fine. Or
it just looks cool.
My David Spade receipt.
I don't have it on this one. I'll download it. Yeah, I got it down.
That looks nice on a white wall, actually. That looks quite cool.
We'll just run with this for now, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, continue with the well. When you say the crime syndicate,
Okay, so look, the way to connect the dots is through racketeering law, right? In other words, the way that you get the family member, the way that you get the business partner is through RICO. Now, the Supreme Court did rule about a year ago that business partners are liable in a partnership being sued criminally. In other words, a partnership, in a partnership, if one person is criminally liable, it's like the Parties Act. You are also liable, right, as a partner to that business. So, that ruling coupled with RICO, I personally have Gloria Allred, who is a lawyer. She is at the heart of this syndicate. She is one of the top bananas of this group of people in Hollywood that have misshapen the judiciary and the media landscape of the planet, so much so that it affects everyone on Earth. Now, you know, this has been a monopoly for a long time that's been run by government for a long time, that has had some kind of Christian values coupled with some kind of more constitutional values. And that seems to have like completely been sold out by over the last 20 years to foreign influence. And here we are today with a syndicate that is funded largely from foreign money in the United States, which is made up of, you can look it up. It's called the National Crime Syndicate. It's a well-known thing. Now, a number of these people, like, have you ever heard of a guy called Anthony Pellicano?
No.
Okay. So Anthony Pellicano, how old are you?
I'm 45.
Okay. All right. So you would have been in the 90s. You would have been a kid.
Yeah, teenager.
Right. Right. So at that time, you wouldn't have been interested in the news so much, perhaps. So this guy
kind of was, but
okay. So look him up. Anthony Pellicano. You may have heard of his story. Went away to jail for 17 years for eavesdropping on a lot of people in Hollywood, and he is known as the fixer. He is the DNC's major fixer. Him and Gloria Allred organized a bunch of events that Jaguar has been to. For example, the 1999 DNC event in Anaheim, or the 2006 Fiesta at the Fiesta Casino, which was a DNC event where all of the cabal showed up under the form of a fundraiser for the DNC. This was organized by Anthony Pellicano and Gloria Allred, right? Who in that place, Jaguar would have witnessed torturing of children from the combined schools district who were in support of Michael Jackson, and they were punishing them publicly amongst all of these DNC fundraising folk at these perverse kind of twisted events, which were in fact this mob syndicate get-togethers dressed up as DNC fundraisers. As you well know, politics is overrun by gangsters now, certainly in California, right? So you've got these fucking people gathering together, raising money from foreign powers in America to do gangsterous things, dressing themselves up as DNC or even Republican parties at times. But the DNC offers a platform that allows you to do this.
Got it.
So,
understood.
So, me personally, I have Gloria Allred like this criminally. We have this guy Anthony Pellicano criminally. Okay. Now Jaguar knows who these people are, and I think she'll be interested to see how this is. I would be interested as well to find out from her a point of view how she sees these people's position in this group of players. But we understand we have the Fertitta brothers involved, right? We understand that we have the Casico brothers involved, as well as a number of like Richard Rika and other mob-related folk, like Ed can give you a list of names as well. And those names are important to tie in as well to what we're doing, to bring the mob names to the fore, that are all interconnected with everybody.
Got it. Got it. Okay.
He's doing a call to arms, by the way.
Got
Joker.
it. Oh, is that
He's
right?
not right now.
Got it.
No, he's telling everyone that the strikes were because of my content. And now he's going through the list of people that it could be. They're having a hard time figuring out exactly who's behind it. Whoop-de-whoop-de-woo. Yada, yada, yada,
Mhm.
whatever.
Mhm.
All that being said, this is a coordinated effort.
Yeah.
Jacqueline,
Yes.
right?
Go
Jacqueline,
ahead.
listen, we're gonna sit down, both of you guys, so we can see it together. It'd be nice to be able, because if you're discussing this particular piece together, let's get this done, because you're both in the same place and we're both fresh.
Well, we're a team.
Yeah,
That
good.
one.
That's great. That's
Um,
awesome.
Hi, Jaguar. How are you?
I'm a little upset right now because they're bothering my big bro Gene deal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's okay. Listen, here's the thing. Pain, right?
Mm.
Let's experience it as if we're observing it.
Oh, listen to me.
Right.
When it
You
comes
feel
to
me?
my emotions and my work, the two don't come into play. I just don't like when Gene is attacked.
Yeah.
And now they're attacking him ever since Mother Wallace.
Gene Deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ever since Mother Wallace gave him full authority to get to the bottom of whatever needed to be gotten to for Christopher. So I understand. It's fine. It's all a part of it. These are all diversionary tactics to make people afraid of talking.
Yeah.
Right.
This only happens when you say the right group of names together.
So
at the
are you
wrong
seeing?
time.
Are you seeing any of the Shock You articles appear?
Which articles? I've been
Shock you.
busy.
Yeah.
You're not watching. You're not watching the news, right?
I mean, I'm watching as much as I can, but the truth is I got news coming this way. I got friends and family coming this way. We have all of our usual suspects to investigate. And then I try to catch as much international news as possible because I really don't watch American news.
Okay,
other
well,
than
well,
see what
well,
they're doing.
my platforms and Ed and I, we've both been very supportive in putting out a bunch of publications. If you Google your name under a couple of names that we're linking it with the names that you know well, that are within the syndicate. Here's the thing. We've pieced together the notion that all of these people are a crime syndicate called the National Crime Syndicate. And it is a mob. It is an Italian and Jewish mob with an omerta, a promise to even sacrifice their own children should you dissent.
I know.
So tell us about that.
Tell us about
that.
I just lost a good friend of mine. And we do not know how he died.
I've
And
lost
the
many
family is
people.
not-
Many people.
I know, but
many
I'm
people.
talking about the man that got on camera and swore to defend me to his last breath.
Let me start there, Alki. If you could let
Yeah.
me.
Yes.
I want to start. I have many questions here that will segue perfectly into this. So let's start there, Jaguar. Right? We're talking about Angelo
Manerchi.
Yes, and he passed away September 6th of this year, very recently.
The day after my son's birthday.
Right. So he had previously been on the Blue Couch, stating that he was your protector, your manager, and you had known him for a number of years. How long did you know him?
On the books, 15. Off the books, 22.
Right. So he talked about his affiliations with the mob, with the Gotti mob, right?
Gotti family. He's
Gotti
a relative.
A relative.
So he's also from
second cousin.
Philly.
Yes.
Right. So you're a Philly girl. Angelo's a Philly guy.
Yeah.
We found it very interesting that Gloria Allred is also Philly based, right? She was from Philly. Right. So what do you feel like
She went to that special school, that special college.
So what do you
they
feel
get all
like
the Eastern stars together and put them in the world where they want them to go?
Right. So what do you feel like you feel like Angelo was murdered. A lot of people have been saying that they believe he was murdered in an effort to silence you. Um, how do you think he died, and what do you think triggered him being ordered murdered?
What I do know is this: my friend was a clever man, and he was a problem solver. And I believe if the family in some way thought that they could get him to get control of me, it would turn out better.
Was it a heart attack?
I don't think so.
Is that what they're claiming?
They won't say.
Okay.
If it were natural causes, I'm sure his daughters wouldn't have had a problem with saying so.
But you know what? We there are many victims who have
He made it very clear,
died.
though, that there wasn't just money on his head, that there was money on mine. He stated all of that.
Right.
Right. They're currently saying it's $500,000. Is that correct? $500,000.
That's what they're saying now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They've been fluctuating this number on me for years. At one point in time, they had said $1.2 million, and that was before I did Real Life for the second big interview, the one that really
You know
got
what we could
attention.
do? You know what we could do? We could fake kill you and fake collect and find out who did all this.
We could do that.
That's just putting that out. Just putting that out
Could
there.
do that. I played dead before.
I want to talk about this specifically, Jaguar. Jonathan Oddie, right?
Yeah.
So for people who don't know, Jonathan Oddie was arrested several years ago for shooting up the Trump Doral Resort, right? And there's the infamous video of him being interrogated by police. And he talks about a lot of things, right? He talks about the attorneys that Diddy used, right? He mentions names like Mark Garagos, Ben Misalis. And for those that don't know, Ben Misalis is heavily linked to the DNC. He's somebody that also worked as an assistant for Diddy and also happened to work for Hillary Clinton. So I'd like to know, he talks about them bringing in liquid cocaine in bottles using private jets.
Yeah.
And interestingly enough, he was also a sex worker, right? So I know you say
Yeah.
you started off as a sex worker. Why do they use sex workers to be their people, to do things for them?
See, for me, I got to see the sociopathy a lot more than your average sex worker, dominatrix. I specialize in torture and pain for people who suffer with extreme guilt and are looking for the catharsis because they're not, they have no intention of being publicly shamed. That's the whole point of domination.
Right. I know you've referred to yourself as an enforcer, as a punisher.
Oh, I am.
In more ways than one?
I am.
May I ask you, have you ever been to the Yellowstone Lodge in Montana?
I can't say that.
Okay.
There's a couple of places I've been where I won't say. Number one, because people won't believe me. But what really scares me is all of the mirror cities that we have here in the United States that no one seems to notice.
Mirror cities?
Yes.
Yeah.
During the pandemic, my second husband and I, we were on the run quite a bit. They were coming for us everywhere. I had to defend myself. We had to live as a pure tactical team.
Mm-hmm.
He got tired of it, which is funny. He was an Army boy. I was raised by a Marine. But we drove every inch of this country. There are mirror highways that we bumped into in Ohio. There are a few in Montana, a couple in Colorado. We bumped into one like West Virginia. where the West Virginia and Virginia state line meets. Like, you know, people will drive down a highway and see those barricades that said road ends here, but it looks like the road keeps going and people just drive right by it. My second husband made the mistake of being too tired and sleep deprived. And he drove down one of those roads, drove through the thing. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, you fell asleep. It was almost like he was in a trance. And when I woke him up, I was like, stop before we die, stop before we die. He was like, the road's not ending. And we just kept driving. The
Let me ask
exact
you about
mirror
this.
of what we were on, but with nothing there. Just like those empty cities that they built in China. That exists in the United States.
Right. Let me ask you about this, Jaguar. You recently said Diddy owns me. And you, in a very emotional video, you're crying, right? For your
Someone
birthday.
said that.
Oh, somebody
I
said,
didn't say that.
okay. Well, you were
See, that's
talking.
the problem with AI.
Mm,
It's real easy to fool people in believing that someone said something they didn't.
mm-hmm,
We proved it last night on 5150 with Corey Holcomb. He actually got an apology from Tasha K.
Yes, I watched that. Yeah. Let me ask you about Choke No Joke, right? Mr. Alston. Why is he threatening you? Why is he threatening Gene Deal?
Because he's jealous. Because our truth is better than his.
Well, what is his truth, right? He used to be the videographer for Rockefeller.
Who conveniently lost so much footage.
Well, I know there was a lot of controversy between him and Dame, right? Dame is saying that he needs to turn over the videos, that it's his property. So they've been going back and forth for years. So the question is, what does Choke No Joke have on video that people are so scared of coming out?
The Fed should ask him. That's who should ask that joke. Because that's all he is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's upset with me and Gene because me and Gene did something that everyone else who likes to play the information I gotcha game in the industry didn't do. We just told the truth. See, people like Choke No Joke, people like who else was attached? This guy named Davin Lewis, who used to work at Bad Boy, who's still a confirmed Diddyite, you know, he was sitting there going off on all these gay men on YouTube. And I said, sir, you work for the biggest gay man in the world. You're still bragging about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like these people are lost and confused. What they're hoping is that nothing's going to change, that this is just going to be something that blows over. And then you'll need Jason Lee is playing the same game with Beyonce and Jay-Z right now.
Do you remember the Fiesta in 2006? The Fiesta Casino, a DNC get together. Do you know of a guy called Anthony Palicano?
I know the name. I can't say I know the man.
Okay. And
I
Gloria
stayed.
Gloria Allred's enforcer is
Yeah, I
Anthony
know.
Pelicano. Is Anthony Pelicano.
I know.
So
Like I said, I know the man.
what is your relationship with her? What
I
kind of
don't
relationship?
have a relationship with Gloria Allred. I know people have tried to insinuate a relationship between me and Gloria Allred throughout the years, and I've always had the same question. How can she be on the up and up when she's so compromised? Because the very victims that she says she's looking to stand up for and protect, she's also working in the best interest of their abusers. She's a fixer.
Do
No
you
different than
see
Alex Spiro.
that's right. That's a good word. That's a great word to use because that's what we use for her. She is a fixer. That's exactly what she is. Do you believe that she is at this point working possibly with Diddy in a good cop, bad cop media performance?
Oh, I definitely would say so, yeah. The simple fact that she's like the legal guardian angel paragon voice of Me Too. And Me Too has not addressed how they miss Diddy, how they miss Jay-Z, how they miss Kanye. How, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't be brilliant legal eagle in one and then completely oblivious in the other. Doesn't make any sense. Just like Alex Spiro allegedly being Tory Lane's lawyer, and we saw how that ended, being Jay-Z's personal attorney, also representing Tupac's family, when everyone knows that what happened to Tupac was a community joint effort to remove him, just like they did Fred Hampton Jr. I'm sorry, Sr. I'm friends with Fred Hampton Jr.
Hey guys, let's switch off the background. It's much nicer with a nice cream background. Let's switch it off because it looks a little silly with the movement, you know. And so Ed, why don't you get into some of your questions then?
Definitely. So the elephant in the room, right? Jay-Z. There's so much to say there. What do you think? And I brought this up last time we spoke, Jaguar. A lot of what you say is coded. And when you talk about Diddy, when you talk about Jay-Z, you made the analogy of it's a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Now, you're referring to something specific, right? Yeah. So when people question, Jay-Z, is he worse than Diddy? The answer is yes. Okay. So is he involved in trafficking of women and children and men?
Yes.
Okay. So how a lot of people look at this backwards, right? They look at it through the music industry lens. But you have said that this is deeper than the music industry. They're actually a criminal organization operating within the music.
This is government sanctioned. There is no way that it could be anything else. And if it isn't government sanctioned, then we really do need to defund the police, and we need to create a new organization that can't be as easily corrupted.
Do you believe that it is corruption within those organizations?
Absolutely.
All right.
The FOP is heavily compromised.
Yeah.
And it's wild because right now, everyone is really, how can I say this without being too confusing or elusive? Right now, America is a boat called the Titanic. They don't want anybody to panic. They don't want anybody to scream and holler and lose their mind. So they got the band playing, and they're still serving cocktails while the ship is going down.
Right.
That's all this is right now. I don't understand why people can't see, and I know it's going to hurt a lot of people's feelings when I say it. America is a country based on willful blindness and stupidity. They do nothing different here. They do the same thing over and over. We're headed for another financial crash. We're headed for social annihilation. Like, I don't get it. There's something big that is about to happen here, and nobody wants to talk about it. So they just want to start little fires everywhere and keep everyone.
What is Gloria Allred's master plan?
Her master plan is to serve her master.
And who is that?
Oh, that is.
Really?
You know who that is. You know who her master is. And the truth is, I'm sick and tired of people taking these hired guns and making them look like they're more than anything than what they are, paid actors. Gloria Allred has no power. Sean Carter has no power. Sean Combs has no power. None of these people have power. All of these people out front, Leora Cohen has no power. Not even Lucian Grange. These are all gatekeepers and handlers to keep the illusion going, so the cabal or the syndicate can continue to do its work and use America for the victim-making machine it has been from day one.
So let's be really clear about exactly that, which is the cabal is in fact a criminal syndicate. The word cabal, or even the word deep state, one is left and one is right, yeah, but they're still trying to hide the very nature of what this really is, which is a criminal syndicate. And
And
that is a cancer on the United States and on the
cancer on the
world.
world.
On the world, I agree with you.
But the difference between the rest of the world and America is they're willing to acknowledge it exists. They're willing to create
Yes,
barriers of
however, the
protection.
judiciary is also being captured because of the treaties that exist. You know, the
Yes,
treaty, as a result, you can take an order in America and enforce it elsewhere in the world, right?
you can. Yes, you can. It's that backstage pass to dominion.
That's very interesting that you say that. And you say dominion from the point of view, where does the word dominion come from?
As the global effort to keep humanity asleep while they try to figure out how they're going to answer to God.
So you know that links directly to the voting systems of that are based in Switzerland.
That leads to all voting systems. They're all rigged. What I don't understand is why, when everyone starts doing these financial deep dives, why none of the money leads back to the Vatican Bank, because
Oh, it
that's
does.
where it comes from.
But look, yes, look, this is all very well known, right?
That's where
However,
they took Diabolique to the
a lot of
Vatican.
money comes from the Vatican, but a lot of money comes from other foreign powers as well. It comes from Saudi Arabia, it comes from China, it comes from India, it comes from Russia. You know, these lawyers fundamentally play both sides of they are gangster lawyers that don't care. They will sell out secrets to the same people over and over again, will sell American spectrum, over the air television spectrum, will sell it. It belongs to the American people, not to Congress and not to anybody else. But these politicians, these gangster politicians over the years have sold the very American airwaves to foreign interests.
Absolutely. That's the whole point. America is nothing but an ATM. But I think people need to understand that when it comes to criminal organizations who've been shrouded in secrecy for hundreds of years, not decades, hundreds of years,
I
they're going
agree
to
with you.
fight very hard to keep that slip from showing. Um, I was
Do you feel
speaking.
a question? Do you feel that the people within this organization are, by nature of being criminal, have no honor amongst themselves?
Oh, there is no honor.
Okay.
The only thing that keeps them loyal to each other is the fact that they are accomplices. Mutual destruction. Mutual destruction means no revenue, no bank exchange. Got to
Who are
keep
the
the money.
bankers? Who are the bankers involved? Do you remember?
I don't want to say.
Jamie Dimon?
You got to understand, some of these people that we're talking about are related to people that are
Fuck
related
them.
to me.
Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck
My
these people.
family. I'm talking
Jack,
about my family.
Jacqueline, I have family. I have family. They've tried to knock me off a few times. You know, these
They
people,
got my son.
they yeah, you know what? They got
They're
four of
very
my
persistent.
attorneys. They've got many of my friends. They've tried many times, and I sympathize completely with you. You know, we are dealing with evil.
You're evil. And people do not want to see that there is a satanic agenda to world domination.
It's a godless agenda that
Yes.
they push. They
Yes.
push a godless agenda, which
Well, if you
is,
remove God, then there's only one
of
thing left.
course, of course, of course, of course, of course. So I would like to know more about the people involved. The people involved. I would like to know names. We have names that we're exposed. We've exposed,
I
and we
know.
continue to expose.
And
Um,
when I'm in a location where I can guarantee my utter safety and not have to worry about anybody coming through that door 20 minutes after I say anything, we can do that freely. But
so I would like to introduce
after
to. I would
after
like
the
to.
attempt that was just made on my life,
Yeah, I agree with you. I totally get you. I was living in Malibu and I had a number of pops made at me. You know that, right?
You've told me, and I've done a little research. I know you're not a tourist in this. That I do know. I also know you have a passion for the truth and you want to see evil sat all the way down. I want the same thing. They came to one of my witnesses' houses less than a week ago, right before Diddy's bond, the night before Diddy's bond got revoked again. I got people that I don't want to die right now.
Do you want to hear something interesting? That if you approach these people at all times with the nature of God in front of you,
Oh, they'll fall down.
yeah.
Oh, that I know. The problem is when you're a true believer, that's great. But when you're trying to help people that aren't and still save their lives.
It's
See,
hard. Yeah,
all it takes is for one person to let the devil in.
sure. Of course.
And there are so many points of infiltration. You know, me and Odell have had to sit down and talk again. And I'm like, we got to go through another list. We got to figure out who we're dealing with and who we're not dealing with. And we have to shut people off because we care about them sometimes. Because of what happens. Everyone here in America right now is compromised. Money is bad. The dollar is falling. People can't afford their lives. The cost of living is about to become utterly out of control. And everyone is looking for a quick handout.
Okay, so people are going to ask, okay, so Jacqueline is saying these things. We want to believe these things because we've heard these things on the grapevine as well. But how does Jacqueline know, and how are you educated to all these different industries and opinions? Why are you so sure? Where do you get this information from?
There is one name that I will say that connects me. Diabolique. Why does nobody want to talk about him? Why does no one want to talk about his death? Why is every Italian afraid for someone to utter that name right now? See, Diabolique is the key to a lot of things. Everyone in La Cosa Nostra was afraid in January, what was it? January 17th, when Diabolique was arrested. It was on CNN. They put him into a Vatican car with no leg irons, no handcuffs, after he surrendered from being in hiding successfully for 30 years. Diabolique is the boogeyman. He is the man that the big people call to make a lot of worldwide problems disappear, sometimes in barrels of acid.
And who is Diabolique?
The head of La
Cosa
Cosa
Nostra.
Nostra.
And he is where now?
He was arrested January 2023.
Is he still incarcerated? Is he still
No, they're saying that he died last September. September of 2023, around the same time last year that Angelo died this year. See, all those barrels with all those unfortunate souls in them. Diabolique had agreed to start giving over barrels, and he gave over one barrel, and it had a 14-year, the remains of what was left of a 14-year-old boy in it. A lot of those industrial drums.
I could tell this is very emotional for you, Jaguar.
Because there are things they wish they could lock me up for that they can't. Because if they lock me up for them, they're going to have to lock all themselves up right with me.
Mm-hmm. Can I ask you, when you were having to work for Jay-Z, when you were having to work for Diddy, what did they have you do?
I never worked for anyone. What I will say is I was beholden. There are certain things I can't discuss that I've seen and that I've done. There are certain things that if I say them, 100 people will die in a week. You know, there are parts of my family history I will not discuss. What I will say is this. Everyone is afraid. Nobody knows what Diabolique told Interpol, but Interpol did say that he was snitching. When the boss of all bosses lays down like a lamb, it's slaughter time.
Matteo Messina, Diabolique. He was on the
Man
run
that
for
they called the
13
devil himself, who solved many problems for governments around the world for many years. He disappeared in the 90s. There's no way he would have resurfaced unless there was no other option. He was arrested in January 2023, the same weekend I was put into a hospital in Texas on an APAL for my alleged mental problems and to be drugged. I watched them arrest Diabolique on the news while I was still in the hospital, while they were still trying to pump me full of Thorazine. Me and Angelo only talked about the old man one time. He was trained very well, and I understood when I asked him, what of Diabolique? And his response was, do not ever say that name to me again. He died very quietly. For an international criminal of that esteem, to be taken in publicly on the news and then died quietly at the Vatican and nobody heard anything about it. In my honest opinion, I do not think he's dead. He was a very healthy man, strong Sicilian. I do not think he's dead. Do you understand what that means? If they're saying that he's dead and he's not dead, it's because they want everyone to know there's no protection coming. Do y'all understand what I'm saying?
So how do you see these Homeland Security investigations?
Cover-ups.
Okay.
They're all cover-ups. Everything that's happening right now is a cover-up. See, the Italians and the Jews have been fighting for years over who gets control of the industry. Once upon a time, Italians had the run of the show. But after drugs got involved and people started getting arrested over stupid things and people were looking too close at the count rooms and all of that stuff, it switched over. And then they tried to say that it was all going corporate, but the truth is all the corporations that are running everything are ran by the Jews. Clearly there was a change in power.
Or a combination. I believe that the new version of the National Crime Syndicate is Italian mobsters and Jewish.
Yeah, but there's also an
gangsters.
alliance with the Russians as well.
Sure, as investors, as there is with the Chinese, as there is with every other.
Yeah, but the Russians are who they hire to do the dirty work.
I see.
So that they can keep their hands clean.
I see.
All of them are involved with Russians. I can't even begin to tell you how many times I've looked and just...
So is Putin staged?
I don't know yet. It's looking weird, but I know he's been looking for, he's a by any means necessary kind of guy. He's just sick and tired of people lying and playing games. And he wants his fair piece of the pie. He's done a lot of work for a lot of people, and he hasn't been properly compensated. I think that's why he started going after the Vatican and exposing it for all of the things that they're lying about, including Yeshua. There's a lot, G. There's just a lot. We're talking about centuries of lies being held up with made of ticky tack. All of this stuff is going to go ablaze. If one truth hits the public, all of it is ablaze. This whole world is ablaze, not just this country. America is a very
But
big...
don't you believe that will then allow us to be what we are and allow our true nature to be what we really are?
I agree. But the truth is, everybody that says that that's what they really want, they got to be willing to stand 10 toes down on it, because there is no turning back.
Amen. I agree with you.
There is no turning back.
But the thing is that if we look at the Bible in any way, so
we're going to win.
We'd be reminded that it will always be just fine.
I know.
Everything will be just fine.
Let me secure my safety, and we will have a deeper conversation.
So let me tell you something. Right here, say hello, Michael.
Hello.
So Michael is my head of security here in Antigua. Just so you know, I stay at the Prime Minister's house here in Antigua, and we're surrounded by militarized people, and the island is very small, and you can't get into the island without having a fist up your bottom, right? And so when you guys are ready and you want to come over here, we can discuss that. Absolutely. I'm very happy.
Maybe we should do the rest of the interview in person.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah. But then we've got to get it all out and get it all in detail and get in granular detail and record it. And then from the recordings, we'll be able to put it all together in affidavit form.
I'm willing to come and sit with you and talk to you in person. Odell will have to handle everything. He's very particular about how we stay safe these days. But if he says it's okay, I'm okay.
You won't have anything to worry about here. It's I'll tell you who lives here.
I got something to worry about everywhere, baby.
Well, I'll tell
They're
you who
willing to
lives
bust a cap in me if they could find me hiding a bowl of rice in Shanghai. I have no...
You know who lives near here is Oprah. Yeah, she lives here. She lives in Jumbi Bay, which is...
He's not very happy with me.
He.
Oh, man.
That's funny.
She thinks that I owe her a kindness because of what she done for my family. She thinks because she helped walk in that portrait of Henrietta Lacks that my family's supposed to roll down and just lay down and not pay attention to what's going on, and that's fine. But you didn't do no favor for us. You did a favor for America. That painting of that blessed figure belongs in that exalted place where it sits. You didn't do anyone a favor. You did what you should have done. I got a big problem with Oprah. A big problem with her. Because she's a hateful woman. But she's a witch.
Does she traffic cocaine?
I'm going to put it to you this way. Oprah would traffic M&Ms if they were illegal. She is an open passageway. She don't care. She never has. These people do not like children. Like when I heard that she was opening up a school for girls, I instantly became scared. And then when they were talking about Maya Angelou's involvement in it, I'm like, why? She hates children. Maya Angelou couldn't stand kids. And anybody who really knew her knew that. See, her and Oprah had something in common They were both angry about their childhoods. They were angry that they were not beautiful girls. They feel as though because they were born with, all of the beautiful looks that a lot of women with our color and complexion have, that they were targeted and they were abused because of that. These are people with very sick minds. These are people who were sexually abused as children, allowed to be sexually abused, and then thrown away because they were black and ugly. See, Oprah's whole life has been about just trying to be beautiful and be loved by the people. Maya Angelou wanted the same thing. And yet, you hear all of this involvement with all of these children. Children disappeared, children here, children there. These women are witches.
Why are they disappearing?
You think
Be
you got to keep the
graphic.
victim making machine going. These people are all involved in trafficking children, trafficking women, trafficking men, flesh on flesh, blood for blood payment. That's what they do.
This is about money, right, Jag?
Not just about money, it's about power. See, people really don't understand thirst for power. The bigger the victim, the more power they want. The more hurt someone has been, the better enforcer or abuser they're going to be to someone else. Yo, do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. I do. I do. And it's lawless.
Anybody that's involved with these people, anybody who was spending time at Clinton fundraisers, the things that I've found out that have happened inside of Clinton fundraisers, you'd be surprised how much information I was able to collect in jail. That's why I think they allowed me to be bonded out. They realized, oh, she's a journalist for real. See, my work doesn't stop. They incarcerate me, I keep working. They let me go, I keep working. But people like Oprah, this is a very sick woman. Like she still keeps trying to starve herself to death. And people think that she's sane. America trusts and believe. All of these people that America trusts and believe, nobody really knows. They don't know anything about them. It's all staged. And then every time the camera comes down or the curtain falls down, they find out all of these people are evil, ugly, mean, terrible.
So let's understand. You're saying that
Ellen DeGenerate. Yeah.
So let's understand this. The media landscape, which is the mind share of whoever on the planet, because news media, which drives the narrative, the documentaries that they make, the movies that they fund, all of this narrative to avert your attention to something else. For example, fossil fuel, right? People, the
All
petroleum companies,
distraction.
right? Well,
All
right.
distraction. And meanwhile, programming the mind with everything that they want suggested for society to carry out. I don't understand how many times it's going to take for me to talk about how Adolf Hitler was able to get a whole country to go off on this mass plan to exterminate the Jews.
I agree with
It
you.
started in the movie theater.
And then the
He hired a
judiciary,
film
and
director.
I agree, completely.
Can I
Agree.
ask you, Jaguar? You talked
Exactly.
about. Can I ask you about rituals? You've talked about how a lot of these music videos, a lot of these performances, especially Beyonce's and Jay-Z's,
Yes.
they're rituals.
Yes.
Can you get into more detail about that?
Absolutely. Anyone who has the audacity to flash this is anti this. See, we're studiers of Kemetic sciences and history. Unlike most Americans, we realize that there was a time before this time and that the world was ran, a certain way before all of these bastardized practices and traditions. So we're not fooled at all. See, this is the chalice of life. To do this is the act. It's the antithesis of that. This is death. This is life.
Is it
Anybody who's
true?
been running around doing that, if you go back and look at Rihanna at the Super Bowl, when she was forced to put that up at the end while they raised her into the diamonds in the sky, she looked like she was about to cry.
Let me go a little
She
deeper,
was
though.
terrified. She didn't even want to do it. She wasn't even paid to be there.
Let me go deeper. Do they have their victims in these rituals in a private setting when they're doing the
Yes, they do.
rehearsals? Have
Yes,
you
they do.
witnessed that?
Videos are oftentimes rehearsals. Number one, Jay-Z Unplugged was a sacrifice concert to exalt him. After Aaliyah left, they had me there singing.
And would they reenact?
These are all rituals.
Would they fake deaths to terrify people and video the terror?
Absolutely.
Is that any? Okay. Can you tell us a little
All
bit
of this
about
is
that?
real. All of this is real. Listen to me. That's why they get the same directors, the same makeup crew, the same costume designers. We were talking about archetypes. My cruelty-free t-shirt that Real Life did for me, my first promo picture on it. Someone saw it and said, "Oh my God, I love that t-shirt. Where do you get it?" And I told her where to go get it. She said, "Oh, I love her." And I said, "Well, her is me." And she said, "Oh, I thought that was Chloe Bailey." And then that's when it hit me, archetypes. If you look at artists from Charlie Wilson to Aaron Hall to Robert Kelly, same style, same trend, same genre, just a little more updated. They do this so when they remove someone, you don't miss their presence because they already have a replacement there. And because of the way the human mind is traveled, you just go right there.
Okay, so you agree that it is a media syndicate?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
And the media syndicate is controlled by the cabal to keep people at bay, to keep people in check, to keep people mesmerized.
Okay,
That checkerboard
now
print,
that cabal has its own rituals, its own practices, its own name,
absolutely.
its own does it have its own language?
Yes, it does.
Okay, can you tell us about that? What do you know about that?
You look at a film called A24. They produced it some years ago, I think 2017, Underneath the Silver Lake. And it talks about certain messages for certain individuals.
In the Hollywood realm, in the Los Angeles realm, it talks about the activities that are going on under the tunnels in Los Angeles. It talks about the secret words that are used because there's only certain languages that can unlock certain things in this world. You know, everybody keeps asking me, what did you whisper to Orlando? Why did he calm down that way? Because I gave him my words. They were words that were brought to me through my ancestors. Words that have been here for quite some time. You do not want me to say those words to you. They will fix you. I also specialize in hypnotism.
That's a good segue. Can I ask you?
That is a good segue.
How many people are mind controlled, right? Do you think Ray J is a mind control victim?
Absolutely. Anyone who has taken part in the orgies, all they're doing is using Aleister Crowley's handbook on how to be demon possessed and not give a shit about God.
Have you seen Gloria Allred at these parties?
I've seen pictures of her at parties.
So tell us about the pictures that the feds would supposedly have. What would they have out of Diddy's collection?
I'm sure they would have videos of that one video. Did you guys see it when Cassie and Diddy first got together and you could see the room was all in red and there were people in the background watching as he was coaxing her in and he was trying to get her to let down her guard? That's normal. And there was about 15 people in that room, which is what they won't say. They won't tell you of the government officials that take part in these ceremonies. Why does no one want to talk about the Rothschilds? Why does no one want to talk about the fact that the Rothschild family has ownership over Sean Carter? Leor Cohen is his handler, and Ben is handler.
Let me ask you, Jack, who do you think is ordering Ray J to basically threaten you?
Come after me?
Yeah.
I'm sure Mr. Carter. And considering what Jonathan Hay had to say, which was something that I didn't know. I love it when people tell me things that I don't know. But allegedly, Jonathan Hay says there are receipts that Ray J has been, a paid actor in the Carter's marriage, and Jay-Z is a cuckold.
Have you heard of a guy called Harry Reid, Senator Harry Reid of Nevada? Have you ever heard of that guy?
Yeah. I understand Nevada. And I still do business in Nevada.
Okay.
What I will say is this. Anybody who thinks that any of the structures that sit on land aren't covering something underneath are foolish. Las Vegas is a hotbed right now. There's a lot of stuff going on. That Netflix ball thing that they're now starting to build in certain areas, which if you go back and you look at the old Kemetic, geology all along spiritual portals.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, the simple fact that nobody wants to talk about the fact that Las Vegas is actually a far end of what was left of ancient Kemet. It was all connected before the Pangea. The magic that they said was in the ground and the things that were happening, although they didn't die, these energies don't die. They don't dissipate. They transfer. Things have been shifted about on this globe. They're doing some scary stuff in there. I'll tell you what I know when it comes to AI. If you have enough camera frames of a person, you can encapsulate their body digitally.
Sure.
If you have enough sound bites, you can encapsulate a voice thoroughly. How many thousands of people are walking through that fucking ball every day? Getting copied.
Sure.
Why is nobody asking? Why is it that all they have to do is say amusement and people walk right inside? I knew from the second that I found out how many cameras was in that thing, I wasn't going the fucking there. I said, it reminds me of that TV show V, when people would walk into the tent and then come out reptilian. Does anybody remember that show V?
Mm-hmm.
About the reptilian aliens that assimilated here on Earth and were trying to integrate with the human beings and let them know that they had the real tea and that the American, you don't remember that? They really don't show reruns of that either. Like of all of the old shows that you see that come back in reruns, you don't ever see episodes of V. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, MK Ultra, the constant level of hypnosis that this country, United States, is kept under, which they do. That's why they make sure the music stays at such low frequency. Because they know those higher vibrations will create minds to pop open. That's why they hire the Diddy's. That's why they hire the Jay-Z's. That's why they hire the 50 Cents. That's why they hire, you understand? Selling a culture, selling an idea, and making people think that it's their choice. When the truth is they're only there to distract you from the fact that they are robbing you of everything that is you. Your memories, mind, your ability to choose. People don't even know what freedom is anymore. They think freedom is being, living, driving in a car that can turn into a prison and drive you to wherever it wants you to go without your control. Like, riding through the streets of LA and looking at Waymo. People enjoying being in a driverless car. What happens if somebody decides to hack that car? Take you to an off-site location? What happens if someone locks those doors? I guess people don't remember that movie with Tom Cruise, Minority Report.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When your car becomes your prison and your jailer is invisible and you have no choice but to go along. Like, I don't.
Have you ever heard of,
anytime-
have you ever heard of Next Gen?
Yeah,
Next Gen.
yeah, and this is the tech guy, so he can really
Do you know anything
get
about
into
Next
that.
Gen? Have you ever heard of that brand name, that name, Next Gen?
It kind of sounds familiar.
Okay.
Are
I
they
will
the
explain to
ones who are doing
Hmm?
the AR and the VR, or is that the
Well,
company that?
I'm sure that it is, in as much as Next Gen is a China-based platform that has taken over the legal filing system in the United States called PACER, and it's also taken over the electromagnetic signals in the air in the United States. It's taken over the aviation system, the insurance system. This is all one single China-based platform called Next Gen.
Yeah,
ATSC 3.0, which is the compression electromagnetic signals that is in the very air that we use, right? That is fully controlled by
Yeah,
operators in the Chinese state. So ostensibly, the whole, like you were saying about ratings and about the content that they're watching and the mind to share and the manipulation of our influence, what influences us, is directly controlled like puppet. We're like puppets in a world
period.
created and controlled by them. Yeah. So we are
Period.
enslaved puppets to a system that we must choose to walk away from.
Yeah.
And from walking away from, then enforce whatever rules we wish to enforce.
Well, that's the thing. It says it in the book of Revelations. Even though they added a bunch of rhetoric that tries to make the Bible confusing, if you look close enough, there's enough truth there for you to see what it is and to have access to go find the rest of the information. It says in the Bible, leave the cities, go back to the rural areas, live off of your own land. Do not rely on the system. That's why people get nervous when they start hearing me talk about sovereignty. Because the truth is, America isn't a country. There is nothing to pledge allegiance to. It's a corporation being ran by other countries. Am I wrong?
No, I think you're absolutely right. I think I've got to tell you, I'm actually surprised at the eloquence and clarity that you spoke of the conspiracy. I feel as if I feel as if you have lived the conspiracy and maybe don't connect the structural dots as much as perhaps I would from a financial or corporate perspective.
If I
But
start doing that, I
yes.
have to stop talking. That's why it's important that every one of us do our job. You're doing your job.
Mm.
But the reason why I've been as effective as I am is because I don't exist. Truth is, if you look at my social security number, my name, and all of that stuff, there's nothing there. That's done intentionally. I've been living through corporations now for the past 28 years. My social security number has absolutely no meaning to me. This way I can slip. I can make it through the system. It's getting hard.
Hey, God is carrying you, darling.
I know he is.
We have
Because
nothing to
everything
do.
I'm
We
doing,
have
he
nothing to
tells
do
me
with
to
any
do.
of this. We just
No, but
show up and
I'm
we
saying that God tells me to do everything that I'm
right,
doing.
right. No, I agree.
I'm literally sitting here telling you that I'm one of the few people that are left on this planet that believes everything that God says, and I follow it. And every time I follow it, I am fine. That's why I said to people, this is a bad time in the world, but it's only a bad time for bad people. Those of us who are not.
Amen. Hey, I love that's very beautiful, young lady. That's very beautiful. Yeah, I that's a very look, put it this way. Bad guys always fuck up,
Yeah,
right? God doesn't
inevitable.
God does not allow the devil too much leeway. He'll let us He'll let us express ourselves in the darkness. But God wants us, or God's will is for us to be happy and to live in the light,
Yes, but
and for us to achieve that light.
in order to be happy and live in that light, you have to be able to accept him fully and completely. See, that's the biggest problem with American religion. Everyone thinks that you can barter and trade with God. Oh, well, as long as I do this, it's okay if I do this. Well, as long as I do that, it's okay if I do that. You know, the CEO religions, Christmas and Easter only religions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, these people actually think they're honoring something, but they're not. What they're doing is they're falling into the trap.
Of
How I've chosen,
buying the right foods and buying the right everything. Yeah. Look,
all of that stuff. Living in the right neighborhood, having the right thing, going to the right
we're
school.
interested in exposing the names of the syndicate. We've
I
got the
know.
names, we believe. So we should really, what I
It
would
sounds
love to
like it's
do is,
time for, we need to talk in person.
so I have got Gloria Allred like this, criminally. What these people are terrified of the most, right, is the man.
Yeah.
Right? They are terrified of the man, right? Ultimately, because the man, no one has control over the man. The man is whatever the fucking man is, right? In as much as the mob are terrified of the government, right? Of the U.S. government of the U.S. government part that is really still a deep constitutional Christian organization.
Which
I
means
believe.
nothing, because Christianity is an hallucination. I don't believe in any religion. I believe in God.
I believe that all of our beautiful religions remind us of the fact that we are eternal.
Well, the thing is, they're all saying the same thing. They just contain different lies. See, this is why religion is such an important construct. Because you have a captive audience that is there for the proper entity, but they're being controlled by the wrong one.
All right,
You know,
may I ask you then, what is your interpretation of God?
first of all, the creator of everything. Me. I don't exist without God.
Mm-hmm.
It's God's breath inside of me. What's in my mind, God placed it in here. My body, how I heal, how I grow, how I age. This is all God.
Mm-hmm.
We're mere vessels.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, the thing is, it's easy to turn humanity into puppets because technically we are.
So what is the alternative? So, our consciousness is made up of opposites, of left and right, black and white, positive and negative, right? This is
People need
how
to start watching The Matrix again.
well, that is how we
People need to
create
go back and
construct, right?
watch Terminator again. God sent us someone with vision, just like he did to John on the Isle of Patmos.
You know what is interesting is that the world's libraries, which were built on Christian values, were decimated by copyright infringement and the influx of child pornography,
Yeah.
right? And that is something that I have been very much a part of, annexing, exposing, studying, fighting in courtrooms all over the world, really, for many years. I want your understanding of the deeper, darker. Have you ever heard of LimeWire, for example? Okay. And how does child pornography and child exploitation absolutely tell me what you know about that on a deep level, and you don't have to go into names, but you can go into sort of what the roles were.
Okay. Me personally, to my LimeWire and their connection with child pornography. Now they were using that file share service because it was peer to peer. They were using that to pass videos to each other back in the day, but when mainly it was DSL before they had really higher bandwidth to pass it on. So yeah, that's what I understand. I do believe that there was a low key Homeland Security like sweep. From what I understand about technology, because I go back to the 386, 486 days, man, when computers were, you had a dial-up modem. I go back to Windows 3.1. And the moment that your phone line downloaded more than so many kilobytes via your modem, you were on a list, you were on a registry. So back then, it was the download, and it was, file sharing music, but that was the cover.
They were slipping a lot of other things through.
I know that world intimately well.
And we need to talk about that.
Yeah.
Because an incident happened to me in 2005 March that I'm gonna get down to the bottom of. We're gonna talk about that.
Let me ask you about this, guys. Do they frame people with child pornography?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
all the time.
What about murder?
All the time.
What about what about murders? Right, from the point of view of murders, how many have you been not witness to necessarily, but what? How many murders do you know of directly?
In what capacity?
Convicted murders. Not convicted murders, classified murders. Murders that are open.
I know of at least 100.
Okay. That are cold cases, that are cold case murders.
Or have been put on someone else.
And
Right.
why are you so familiar with that?
I watched it happen to people in my life.
Were you ever involved in where you were told to participate in something and you let victims go?
Yes.
Can you elaborate?
I'm going to have to plead the fifth, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Until we can meet in person.
Fine.
What I will say is that there's not a day that goes by that I don't feel sorry for the things I've been forced to do. Or should I say allow myself to be forced to do? That's why it's always good to get someone while they're young. That's why it's so important to groom young people like I used to be once upon a time. Get them to believe that this is the only way. Get them to believe this is really how things are. Try to convince them that God doesn't exist. I've dated a lot of dangerous and criminal people in my life. I've witnessed a lot of terrible things. I've been forced to see and do some terrible things.
And why do you think this exists? Why does this way of life exist?
Anytime somebody gets too close to accidentally discovering the truth, there is a quick correction.
What is the truth? I want to know what the truth is. What is the truth? Other
That this
than
entire country is a lie. It's ran by Lucifer. It is the second beast that they speak of in Revelations. And all of us here are doomed. This country is controlled by the old world, and the old world doesn't want anyone to know. And they've been coming in and out for years, taking turns at who's running this new world. And now there is a lot of conflict because the children here have lost their minds. See, Americans have been trusted with a lot of secret information, a lot of secrets to the world, to the universe.
The
And it's
children
been
all over the
perverted.
world are losing their minds. I agree with you completely. I think that's a very important, very, very important note right there, because the world over in every society, children are bona fide losing their minds. It's a very,
Because
it's a,
they're refusing the program now. This is why I'm so dangerous. Because I know how to speak to them to get them to wake up.
how does Gloria Allred use hypnosis on television?
You can hear it in the phrases, the phrasing that they use. Anytime anything is repeated in the synchronicity of 3, it is decree. It is universal law. She repeats a lot of things in 3s, just like any good witch would. 3 times 3, make them see, make them see. 3 by 3, make them see, make them see. What you want them to say.
Yes, I would agree with that.
Witches.
We call it set it up, build it up, and pull the rug. You know, that's
Yeah,
the that's
that's
the
actually hypnosis and witchcraft. See, that's why the sound of a voice has such power, because of the frequencies in it. There's no throat like mine in this world. I'm able to do things with my voice and with my throat that most people cannot. I can almost mimic any sound.
Jaguar is part of
Sound
the reason.
is way.
Sorry to interrupt. Is part of the reason they're after you is because you didn't fulfill one of the missions that they gave you?
Oh, I did worse than that. I turned
Really?
it on them.
which missions did you not obey?
I refuse to allow myself to be taken over completely by Sean Carter to become what he's turned Beyonce into. They knew with the quality of my voice that I could capture the world. And as long as he was in control, the agenda would be protected. But for me to take this voice and to use it to do the exact opposite, that undoes the spells, see?
Well, let me ask you this, Jaguar. Why does Jay-Z and why did Diddy, why did they have to eliminate people? Why did they have to call out hits? Why did they have to do all of this?
What
Right?
is the
Because
agenda that they're protecting?
everyone that they got rid of was awaking the consciousness of the people. You got to look at the agendas of people being moved around when they are. Everyone has so many questions about Alec Baldwin and that filmographer who died on the set of Rust, but nobody is questioning the project that she was working on before she got that one last minute.
What about the legal structure? It was Gary Dornick
He
and
was,
Gloria Allred who set it up and built and played it out in front of the cameras. It's a complete setup from beginning to
yes,
end.
I know it's a complete setup, and everyone knows that that filmographer was working on a documentary about exposing the child pedophilia rings.
Do you believe that Alec Baldwin is playing along, or do you believe he's a sincere victim?
I think he wasn't playing along when it happened. I think he has no choice but to play along now. And how interesting is it that it's his little baby brother, who's Justin Bieber's father-in-law, who's pretending like they don't know Justin's been the sacrificial lamb? Don't you find that interesting?
Don't you think the Ray J was the sacrificial lamb at one point?
No.
You
He was
don't think
never
that?
important enough. He was never important enough to be anything, but his sister was.
Okay.
People keep forgetting that the
Okay.
Norwoods are an entertainment family. See, Ray J got to take the fall so Brandy can look like an angel. See, he was selected to be a piece of shit by his family because he had nothing else to offer. He had to earn his keep.
Yeah, he's not really known for his singing, huh?
No, he's a porn star. I just don't know why he won't just own it.
Right.
You could use all that weird music you make in your videos.
So do you think the
You know?
organization is using Ray J to not only traffic, but are they using him as an assassin?
They also use him as a handler. I don't know if he's got the heart to assassinate anybody the way he got his ass whooped pretending to be a fake gang banging in LA. But what I do know is he don't have no problem with horrible things happening to people as long as him and his family is okay. That I do know.
How much is the ritualistic part of this cabal, this group?
It's very ritual.
But how much of that is expressed in the music, the media, and
A lot of it.
and the extrasensory stuff that they
A lot
create?
of it.
I want to hear about that.
They're snitching on themselves all the time. All you have to do is go and listen to the music. I actually went and found Jay-Z's confession about him feeling bad about taking out Pimp C on a Jay Electronica album, and I played it for everyone. See, I know how he thinks. He can't help but snitch. The funny thing is that most of the stuff that he does, he's stolen from someone else. These people are all thieves and plagiarists.
How many people is Jay-Z directly responsible for physically murdering?
In my opinion, from what I know,
from what you know,
at least 15. At least 15.
So is part of that
personally, directly, physically in the mix?
Not directly. He's not a direct kind of guy.
Okay.
Usually he's more comfortable with beating on women than he is on men. And now that we know it's been corroborated, you know, he gets involved with men sexually. And I didn't want to believe it until I was forced to see it.
Is part of that
what did you see? What did you see?
I saw him having sex with my friend on camera. And I understood. In that moment, I completely understood, because with women in a sexual manner, he's very stoic. He's not very emotional. But he's the complete opposite when he's involved with men. He's very enthusiastic, very happy.
If we're going to go any further, like we said,
I got you. Well, I love it that we can go that way. It's cool. It's cool that we can build on this. I think it's cool.
We appreciate that. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, Jaguar, is this part of the slave labor that the federal government is accusing Diddy of using? Do they use slave labor to create their music, to create?
Absolutely.
How do they do that specifically?
Well, see, this is how it works. Like, nobody's talking about making the band and how criminal that whole thing was. He got all of those kids together and told them that they were auditioning for a show, but actually they were filming the show. So this way he didn't have to pay anyone.
During the 2006 fiesta, were a lot of those talented kids at that fiesta, and were they being abused? And how would they be abused there?
Oh, well, it's very simple. If you're drugging people upon entry, and when they wake up, they have no knowledge of what happened, but they have all of these terrible feelings, and then they hold them there for another 48 hours to make sure any physical evidence or any drugs goes through their system. So when they finally let them go and they go to the authorities, there's no evidence.
Is that propofol?
Yes.
Propofol, right?
Or GHB, or overdosing people on ketamine, or you know, and that's why the whole 2C thing, that his little special, you know, his special pink cocaine is terrible, because the agents that he has in this, if you were to snort a half a gram of that, you should be clear out of your mind. These people were sitting there sniffing line after line after line of this stuff.
When you were 5150'd at UCLA?
Oh no, in Dallas.
You were 5150'd in Dallas, though. Yeah. So tell me about that, and who did that?
Well, it was my second husband, who was working with a woman named Monica Lockett, who is the baby mom of Batin from Slum Village, which I'm starting to believe now was sacrificed. You know, she thinks she's a witch. Anyway, her and some people from Carbon Nation, they were all kind of in on it to have me sat down after that second interview hit 1 million views in 3 weeks. Which is funny because that was such a big deal back then, and now we're doing millions in days. Thank God that the truth is standing out there. But yeah,
So
no, I was
what does the
bored.
truth look like? What does the truth look like when it's gone? What happens? What's after the truth?
Once the truth is realized, all men will have to fall on their knees and beg God for forgiveness for allowing themselves to be tricked and fooled this way, for allowing themselves to blaspheme God in such an open manner,
And God will
as
do
He
what?
always does. He'll
Let,
correct things.
let me go back. Let me go back to the incident that Alki was asking you about, Jaguar. Was Michael Bragg Jr., was he involved in giving you some kind of drug that caused that whole episode? That
Actually, no, that would have been Joseph Torrance and the Torrance family. Night and day, they had sent their CBD products,
Mhm.
which were laced. And my second husband,
What
he
year
was
is this?
very, 2023 last year.
Oh, really?
And then the next thing you know, I was gaslit. He went to go attack someone. I tried to stop him. I was body slammed. I was beaten. Like these scars here on my arm that you can see if you get a little closer. They're a little dark now.
Okay.
They've gotten a lot lighter, but that was from when they put me down on the pavement in the parking lot. 4 police officers body slammed me, tied me, had me hog tied in
So,
handcuffs and shackles.
so all of that was
While my
caused,
yeah, it was all staged. While
but it
my
was caused
second
by the drugs, the tainted drugs, basically.
Oh no, listen to me. It wasn't the drugs that bothered me. I was sleep deprived. I hadn't been sleep in a day
Mm.
and a half. My second husband was trying to kill us. He was running around chasing us with guns, threatening to shoot me if I came home. Like this was all very coordinated to make sure that I was sleep deprived, that I hadn't eaten, that I had whatever was there in that CBD cigarette in my system. I was attacked.
Right. Do you think Gerald Johnson Jr., Goomba, do you think he was a setup?
Oh, I know it. He was
Mm.
hired by these people from YouTube to come after me. See, his mama, she's a money launderer, and she's been laundering money allegedly through her church for the cartel.
Mm-hmm. So he's part of that organization, and they brought him and you together somehow.
Now, are we talking about Sinaloa cartel? Which cartel?
Lord.
And how do you know why the war within the Sinaloa cartel is going on?
I have some direct knowledge, but unfortunately, I don't like to speak too much about Sinaloa.
Okay.
I still have a goddaughter that's in Guadalajara, and another that's in another part of Mexico, but they're related to the cartel.
Right.
I've been taking care of them for many years. One, I don't really get to see her or talk to her that much anymore. I nursed her off of cheese, which is, the Xanax and heroin mixed together. That was real hot in Dallas before fentanyl started becoming so much easier to distribute.
So explain why. Is it for the destruction of society, the fentanyl distribution?
Absolutely.
What? That is why, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Number one, Texas is compromised. It's been compromised. It belongs to Mexico.
Mhm.
Mexico will do whatever they have to do to get their lands back. And
Mhm.
if they got to poison the whole state, they'll do that.
So what about the Chinese involvement with the development of the fentanyl?
Oh, well, I'm sure that the Chinese and the Mexican government, I'm sure they have
They have been trading for centuries.
they have common
Well,
interests.
I have intel from former military people that I know, They told me, and the irony of it all as well. Well, I don't want to reveal too much, but his wife actually is married into the cartel.
Yeah.
He's been married with her for some time, married to her for some time. They won't allow her into the U.S. just yet, but he goes back and forth. He's told me some information in regards to the former Mexican president. I'm still sure it's going on right now, where they have a deal with China. China will bring over the materials to make the fentanyl over to Mexico.
So they can handle it and then get it across
And they
the
get it
border
over
nice
here.
and easy.
Well,
And
that's
start
exactly
getting
right. That's exactly right. There are Chinese men with sidearms in Sinaloa walking around plants that look
Well,
like
here's
modern
the
day Chinese
here-
fentanyl production. Right
here's
there,
the other-
I have those pictures.
here's the other trade-off. The Chinese government have been sending over just what do you call them? These the shipping containers just full of ammunition, and they'll have a GPS locator on them, and they instruct the Mexican government to bury it near the border. All these barrels or all these ammunition shipping containers of ammunition are buried along the border.
That's where Trump's wall would create a big problem.
Very good
Trump's
segue.
wall would make
That's
it
a very
hard.
good. It's a very good piece of that's a very good area. This is a very, very specific area, because this is something that is in the mindset of everybody in politics, which is in thinking about politics, which is even those that are consumed by their own media would have to question, well, how the hell is this imminent invasion going to happen? And
It's already happened.
well, yes, of course, the
And
country's
that's
on
what
siege.
I keep trying to get everyone to
Yeah.
understand. Everyone is waiting and looking. They're looking for,
But it's
where
already
the
happened. Yeah,
is going to be. The invasion has already happened.
yeah,
There
yeah.
are
And
things buried.
and we've
There
been
are
warned.
things buried in the ground that people are not ready to deal with. There is technology that is so advanced that when that shit pops up, people are going to start pissing themselves in real time.
Right. Let me go
I
back
agree,
to Trump.
yeah.
Let me go back to Trump, Jaguar.
Yeah.
And Alki. So Jonathan Audie, he goes to shoot up Trump Doral, right? This is a sex worker for Diddy. He talked about Garagos. He talked about Ben Masalis. He talked about the liquid cocaine being trafficked in bottles on private jets. Who put him up to shooting up Trump Doral? Was that a warning to Trump?
It most likely was, but I don't think anyone could give you anything, because 9 times out of 10, he was put under some kind of hypnosis and he was ran on a dummy mission. I think that's why he looked so confused in the interrogation room, because he didn't understand how he got there.
Right.
Like, nobody's paying attention to the fact that he didn't even realize how he got there. He had been arrested and all of that, and he was gone.
I have a question for you. Do you remember seeing O.J. Simpson in 2006 at the Fiesta party? Did you see him there?
No.
Okay. Because allegedly he was sprung
And
out
I
of jail
won't,
specifically for.
I know, and I can't talk about that.
Tell them 5 more minutes.
I will forever be grateful to Arnell Simpson for her love and her care while I was pregnant. She, OJ's daughter, was my stylist.
Mhm.
Her father just passed away, and they're fucking with the family's legacy again. Orange Juice, OJ, whatever people want to call him, is probably one of the biggest scapegoats.
Mhm.
And I don't think they understand that MK Ultra was implanted back in him while he was still playing football. Like, this is the problem that I'm having with a lot of this stuff. The reason why they want certain people to be held into account or to be vilified or to drag them out into the town and let them be, because they don't want anybody knowing what they turned them on for. See, there are so many people that have done things that they say they don't remember doing. Why does nobody want to believe that this is mass hysteria hypnosis? When Trump literally sat there the debate with Biden said he's a Manchurian candidate. And everyone thought that was a joke.
So is it a coincidence, Jag, that Diddy and Jay-Z and Beyonce all appear at these DNC events, right? You have in 2016, Jay-Z and Beyonce appearing at the Hillary Clinton rally in Cleveland. You have all this heavy support for the DNC and for Hillary and for Obama. What's all that about?
They're influencers. Their job is to influence. If Jay-Z and Beyonce are your idols and they say the DNC is the way, then what are you going to do? See, that's why these kids, the first commandment is thou shalt not have any other gods before me. See, these celebrities, they become gods. That's why they didn't like me, because I was the kind of artist, I would tell them I'm the anti-celebrity, because I was always celebrating real life, real moments. Not all of this pomp and circumstance and all of these cars. And, people always ask me, oh, what do you think about the Maybach? And I tell them, it's the most expensive prison I've ever been in. I'll never get in another one again.
Mm-hmm.
People really don't understand. All of this is to get you to fall in love with all of these things that they want you to buy. Meanwhile, they got these people telling you what to think, to put in your mind. And while you're in debt, your credit card bills, your house is about to be foreclosed on, you say, I need to spend $3,000 on a Renaissance ticket. People are shot out. And now they've done so much hypnosis and so much witchcraft that everything is starting to fall apart.
I agree with you completely. Everything that you've just said, from the point of view of the media manipulation to the, I completely agree with you, in as much as there is a cancerous control monopoly of our media that is designed to tear us all apart and enslave us to ratings and purchasing of their shitty shit,
so that we can keep financing the victim making machine and nobody gets wise.
Yeah, that's
why people go to jail. That's why people die. That's why cold cases are quickly solved.
We have about 5 more minutes left. Let me ask you about Michael Bragg Jr., Danny Robertson, all these YouTubers that you dubbed the Troll Farm.
Criminals.
Why is, but let me ask you, where does this go back to? Why are these people even in the picture?
Because they were hired by Tasha K, just like Tasha K was selected by Leora Cohen to create the Troll Farm so that they could constantly make sure that the disinformation was working. I don't know why nobody has noticed that anytime someone that has a credible story that's about to come forward sits with Tasha K, all of a sudden the story dies.
Mm-hmm.
Look at Brother Belial.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he came out to speak out about the cabal and about the stuff that was happening, even though he was very, very, very sanitary in the things he had to say. They were still a little damning. And of course, he said he had the receipts in the book and the QR scan and all of that, whatever the case may be. But after I challenged him why he sat with Tasha K instead of sitting with me, because he was going to come and sit with me, but somewhere along the way, he was convinced to sit with Tasha K. After I came out and I played what he said about Will Smith needs to be in jail for what he did to his son, that next interview didn't go so good. So you got to understand, Leora Cohen has found a way to take old school tabloid, hit people and make it digital. And that's what Tasha K was selected to do. And then she goes and gets a bunch of broken toys.
Well, let me ask you, Jaguar, do these people meet in person do they have meetings and events where
Sometimes they do. And they sign non-disclosure agreements about them. Danny Robertson has become a very trusted disinformation source, and she doesn't know what to do because she's being literally protected by YouTube. Her channel has been struck over 100 times by about 15 different to 20 different content creators in the past year and a half. After 4 strikes, your channel's supposed to be terminated. Hers is still there. And then it always comes back, it's a false strike. It's a false strike. No, it's not a false strike. More importantly than that, she's not smart. She's a freaking idiot. All of these people are idiots, and they all have criminal records. They need to be taken offline for life.
I agree with
Tasha
you
K
again.
should have been removed. Well, there is no way YouTube can call themselves a credible company and continue to keep sponsoring a woman who is a known and convicted liar.
Have you heard of Tom Girardi?
I've heard.
And do you know anything about Gavin Newsom, Governor Gavin Newsom?
Yes, I do.
And
Gavin Newsom.
yeah,
Kamala Harris's ex-boo thing.
yeah. And
You know
Kamala
what he
Harris,
did?
and Kamala Harris as well. Both of them, and Obama, and all of them. Yes, I agree. Are part of that whole syndicate.
Yeah, he's appointing Caucasian judges now in LA County to rip apart and destroy Black families.
Yes, I believe that. In many
she's
ways.
doing it to my fiance. And Kylie granted a restraining order on my fiance and myself to his second ex-wife with no police report, no evidence, and YouTube videos from Michael Braggs as evidence. Like a judge did this in court and put her seal on it. They said I was a felon. They listed me as a felon, even though I'm not. And all of this with her court seal. We actually have to go and see her supervising judge, which we will be doing soon. Because to label a whistleblower a felon when they're not, and only charged with felonies, but beaten all felonies.
Jaguar, we might want to edit that part, because I do know with the restraining order, it even says you can't even talk about that person. So I'm not.
I wasn't talking about her. I'm talking about the judge who broke the law. And her name is Ann Kiley, and she was appointed by Governor Gavin Newsom, who is also against reparations for Black people.
Okay.
So Governor Gavin Newsom has got control of the judiciary, from the executive branch of the judiciary, both at the state bar and the Supreme Court. So he has full, complete, corrupt control of the state bar, and that is my massive lawsuit that I have against the state of California for colossal
Well, let me know
damages
how
to
I can
public
help.
Well, I mean,
and if you need to use any of what we're going through with the effects of Gavin Newsom, you're more than welcome to it. He is a detractor. And not only that,
Rose McGowan is somebody that I've been helpful to, supporting, even though we're sort of like supposed to be on opposite ends of the spectrum of consciousness, theoretically.
I'm going to be very honest with you.
Yeah.
I don't like Rose.
Yeah, well,
I'll never like Rose.
not many people do. She's not very likable, you know.
Well, the thing is, I don't have any reason to dislike her. I just know they used her to move Anthony Bourdain out of the way. And Anthony Bourdain is someone who I considered not only a hero, but a dear friend. You know, nobody wants to talk about the so-called unalivement of Anthony Bourdain. Nobody wants to talk about the fact that he wanted to start getting into more serious topics in parts unknown on CNN. He was replaced with Gordon Ramsay. And then when that didn't work, because Gordon Ramsay is not Anthony Bourdain, they bring in Stanley Tucci. Everyone's trying to erase the legacy of Anthony Bourdain. What I do know is that Anthony Bourdain had found out that there was some child trafficking going on, and he was definitely against it.
Child trafficking going on where?
In LA,
Right.
in the tunnels. And next thing you know, he hooks up with Rose McGowan, and then
Well,
kind of
Rose
like
is
how
now,
it happened with Michael Clark Duncan. He was about to start doing some activism for the Black community and trying to get people to get more Black celebrity men to do more mentoring. And then the next thing you know, he married Omarosa. Gone.
you know that Chinification results in a deep racism for black skin amongst the Han Chinese, right? It's a big deal.
No.
I mean, we live here in Antigua, which is a deeply Chinified island. We have a big presence of the big Chinese embassy, big trading with China. You know, we have an open partnership with China, and the Chinese just don't, just are very, very segregated, deeply segregated. It's fucked up.
Well, they've always been that way, and they're always going to be that way. That's why, all of the war in Gaza, all of this, it's a 5,000-year-old fight. Clearly, it's not going to end. When people want to be in conflict, they're just in conflict. When people want division, they want division. Unfortunately, Yeshua said his Father wants his people, all his people, to love each other, worship with each other, and respect him equally. So anyone that is down with division, that kind of prejudice isn't just a prejudice against humanity. It's a prejudice against God's will.
Amen.
Amen. Let's end it with that. Thank you so much, Jaguar and Wolfgang. It's been a pleasure having you guys.
That
We
was
look
beautiful.
forward.
That was a beautiful way to top that off. That was gorgeous. Thank you.
We look forward to having you back as part of a more a very long documentary about all this stuff. So
well, what we're going to do
we'll
is we're going to make
more.
arrangements to set up a secure interview that we will have between us, and we will release according to the plan that we make between us.
We need to do it that way, because with the attack that they're putting out right now, they're trying to find a way to get people afraid to tell the truth, and people are now finally starting to get brave. If I've done nothing else,
we've started a concept called HARC, HARC. So, Ed, what was the acronym?
Hollywood. Oh, you got me off guard there.
Yeah.
Hollywood something. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Anyway, we the point being.
Let me know when you're ready to turn it into a hashtag.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that we're going to put together a very clear organization that we can all put all of our grievances under, right? That we can say, our own Me Too, but our own movement, which is designed to embody godless media.
Yes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And we will find the path. I think we have a cool thing with Hark being the Hollywood.
I like it. Whatever it is, I like it. I'm sure I could figure it out if you give it to me.
Okay, it's the Hollywood something
HARC, right?
HARC, yes. I mean, I've actually done an article and put your name to it. Actually, somewhere along. Let me go find it. Hold on, let me find it. Hold on a second. So I don't know.
Actually, I'm
we
supposed
gotta get
to.
ready to
I
go.
gotta go, and I gotta speak to this attorney. We're behind on that. So
my lawyer.
Thank you, guys. We'll circle back, but thank you so much. Yeah, we'll talk again soon.
Fugitive status.
So it's called The Attempted Silencing of Jaguar Wright, a deep dive. Okay, and
send it via WhatsApp. Let me check it out.
Have a good read of it, because within it's called it's the whole coalition of whistleblowers. Basically, we're starting a coalition of whistleblowers, right? And that's what we want to do. And you're going to be the leader of it. All right. So I think that is a HARC is